In our last class, we have derived the formula for the equation of path of projectile, maximum height, time of flight and horizontal range. So, first equation was equation of path of projectile. So for this we got equation as y is equals to x tan theta minus g divided by 2u square cos square theta multiplied by x square. So this is the first equation that we have derived in our previous class. So the second equation was maximum height. So maximum height is denoted by h. h is equals to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. And the next equation was time of flight. So that was t. So time of flight is denoted by capital T and that is equals to 2u sine theta by g. So this is time of flight. Next is horizontal range. So horizontal range R. Horizontal range is denoted by R. And that is given by u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So these are the four important equations. So the first was equation of path, second is maximum height, third is time of flight and fourth is horizontal range. So all these four equations are important. Try to understand the derivation and the physical meaning of all this formula and learn this equation. So you should know all this equation by heart. And also try to change the theta and observe what will be the variation in the three physical quantities. So if theta is 30 degree, then what will be height? If theta is somewhere like 60 degree, then what will be time of flight? If theta is 90 degree, then what will be horizontal range? So try to change the theta and find what is h, t, r. So for all three equations you have to give the same theta. If you give sine 30 here, then it should be sine 30 here and it should be sine 30 here. And then if you observe what is h, what is t and what is r, then you will understand what is actually happening in the projectile motion. So that's it for the projectile motion. So in our today's class, let us try to understand what is centripetal motion, centripetal acceleration and circular motion. So next topic is uniform circular motion. So this is again an important topic. So these topics are important for your CET examination or JEE, AIEEE. So all these equations will be directly asked in the question, or sometimes they ask applied questions on this equations. So try to understand all these equations thoroughly. So now what is uniform circular motion? So you might be knowing the circular motion. So what is circular motion? So let's suppose you have a thread, so which has got a length of L. So if you hold this thread at this point, so let's suppose, so at O you are holding the thread and you have placed or you have tied a ball of mass m, Now if you rotate this, then this object will take a circular path. So this has got the length L. So if you rotate this object, then this goes in a circular path. So at every instant, the distance from your hand to the ball will be same. So now this is the circular motion. What is happening here? So you have a ball which is tied to the thread. So now if you rotate this ball continuously, then at every instant this ball changes its direction. So see, the direction of ball is in this direction. So now if you rotate, its direction goes like this, perpendicular to the radius of the curvature that it has formed. Now at this point it has a direction like this. So at this point, so if you take, so at this point this ball has a direction like this. So you can also measure the direction at every point of the circular motion. So at this point the direction will be in this direction. So this is what the circular motion is. So let me draw this small diagram such that you can understand it clearly. So if this is rotated, then this goes in a circular path. So this is the ball which is tied to the thread. Now this ball will have a direction in this direction, and at this point this ball will have a direction like this. So this is the direction of velocity. So this can be the radius of the circle, so r, and this direction is the velocity direction. So always the velocity will be perpendicular to r. So at every point the ball is changing its direction. So now at this point it has the direction like this. So now at this point it has a direction like this, and at this point it has a direction like this. So if you observe, at every point the velocity of the ball is changing continuously, and this velocity is perpendicular to the radius of the circular motion. So there is a 90-degree between V and R. So when an object follows a circular path at a constant speed, so at constant speed, then that kind of motion of the object is called uniform circular motion. So what is uniform circular motion? So object needs to follow a circular path with a constant speed, and such motion is known as uniform circular motion. So here uniform refers to speed, that is, speed is constant. So uniform means constant, so constant is speed. So uniform refers to speed, and the circular motion is this. So this is what the circular motion is. So now if I write the definition for uniform circular motion, so that can be written as, when a body moves in a circular path with a constant speed. So constant speed is the mandatory. So in uniform circular motion you will have constant speed, then the motion of the body is called as uniform circular motion. So this is what the uniform circular motion is. So now there is a derivation for the centripetal acceleration. So whenever you have a uniform circular motion, so there will be velocity. So if there is a change in velocity, then there will be obviously the acceleration. The acceleration will be in this direction. So acceleration will be directed towards the center of the circle. So we'll learn that in the coming section. So now let us start the derivation of centripetal acceleration. So to derive this, so let us consider a particle having uniform circular motion. So a body or a particle or an object which is having a circular motion is taken into account. So in circular motion you have seen, so this distance from the origin to the ball is the radius of the circle. So that can be denoted as r. So now let r be the radius of circle. So now let us consider this. So what he is telling, a particle has a uniform circular motion. And this object has got a radius r. So let this point be the center of the circle. So from this C to any point on the circle will be the radius of the circle. So in this let us consider 2 points. So let's suppose object is at a point P at time t. So let us draw the position vector for the P. So the position vector for P will be what? R. So R here is the position vector for a particle which is at a point P at time t is equals to t. So now after time t is equals to t plus delta t, the particle will be at another point P dash. So this is at time t plus delta t. So now let us consider this as a position vector. So this can be denoted as r prime. So now if you observe, there is a variation in the angle theta between P and delta and P prime. So this is not delta P. So this is P prime. So now if you take this angle as delta theta, or let's suppose this be theta, or let me write this as delta t because that change in delta t will be small. So here you have a point P and P dash on a circle. So this P is at time t and this P dash is at time t plus delta t, and the position vector for P is r and the position vector for P prime is r prime, and the angle between P and P prime is delta t. delta theta. So now let us draw the velocity vector for P. So velocity will be tangent to the motion. So this is V. So velocity for the particle at position P is V, and for this it will be in this direction. So this be V prime. So now you have two vectors V and V prime. So for these two vectors V and V prime, we can take the resultant vector. So before that we can also take the resultant vector for R and R prime. So the resultant vector will be in this direction. So this is delta R. Change in displacement. So now if you draw this V from this point, then V will be in this direction. And now if you draw this V prime will be in this direction. So now we can measure what is delta V. So delta V will be what? This will be change in velocity. And now this will be in this direction. So we'll learn about this diagram again. So this angle here will be theta. So let us name this triangle GHR. So this triangle has been drawn from the two vectors V and V prime. So V is here and V prime is here. So now to find delta V, we have drawn a vector from V to V prime. So this is vector. So this is not just a line, this is vector. Delta V is vector from V to V prime. So now from the diagram it is clear that V is the velocity of a particle at point P at time t, and V prime be the velocity of the particle at point P prime and at a time t plus delta t. So this is the condition. And R and R prime be the position vectors for point P and P prime respectively. So this all things we have learnt in the diagram. So now if you observe the diagram again, as I said, V prime is perpendicular to R prime and V is perpendicular to R. And here is delta R and here is delta V. So delta R is this vector and delta V is this vector. So if you observe it clearly, delta R is perpendicular to delta V, or delta V is perpendicular to delta R. So because of that, have got delta V in this direction. So from the triangle law of vector addition, so V prime and V will give delta V, and this delta V will be perpendicular to the delta R. So these all things should be clear to you, or it will be problematic for you when you solve the problem. So you have a circular path and you have chosen 2 points P and P prime. So at P the velocity is in this direction and at P prime velocity is in this direction. So velocity will be tangent to the circular path. So velocity at every point on a circular motion will be tangent to the path. And now for this P we have drawn the position vectors, and from triangle law we got the delta R, and for triangle law for the velocities we got the delta V, and this delta V is perpendicular to delta R. So this is the theory behind the uniform circular motion. Now let us understand what will be the average acceleration. So what we can write, delta V is perpendicular to delta R. So since from that we can write average acceleration. So acceleration is what? Rate of change of velocity. So average acceleration is along delta V. So the direction of acceleration is similar to the delta V direction. So that is perpendicular to the delta R. Now average acceleration A bar can be written as delta V divided by delta T. So this we have learnt in our previous section. Average acceleration can be written as A bar is equals to delta V by delta T. So that is change in velocity with respect to time. So average acceleration is again perpendicular to delta R. So A is perpendicular to delta R, and hence A is again directed towards the center of the circle. So A will be perpendicular to R, and this will be directed towards the center. So now let us find what will be the instantaneous acceleration. So that means delta T tends to 0. So when delta T tends to 0, the acceleration becomes the instantaneous acceleration, and this will be again directed towards the center. So let us draw that diagram. So if you have a circular motion like this, then the motion of the particle is in this direction. So let's suppose this is the center of the circle C, and now at this point the particle is present at delta T is equals to 0. So P, now for this point velocity vector will be in this direction, so that is given as V, and the position vector R will be in this direction, so R is in this direction. So you have R and V. Now acceleration will be again directed towards the center of the circle. So that means acceleration will be in this direction. So this is A and this is R. Clear? So hope this diagram is clear to you all. So there is nothing difficult in this. So at this point the velocity of the particle will be in this direction, and the position vector will be in this direction, and acceleration will be directed towards the center of the circle. So acceleration will be in opposite direction to the position vector. So that gives the instantaneous acceleration. So at delta T tends to 0, we can write instantaneous acceleration as, so A is equals to limit delta T tends to 0, and now this will be what? Mod of delta V divided by delta T. So this is the instantaneous acceleration of the particle which is moving with a uniform speed in a circular path. So now coming back to the diagram. So if you see, the angle between R and R prime is delta theta, and angle between V and V prime is again delta theta. Why? Because V prime is perpendicular to R prime and V is perpendicular to R. So the angle which is made here will be equals to angle between V and V prime. So now we have two similar triangles. So first is CPP prime and IGH. So these two are similar triangles. So from similar triangles we can find what is centripetal acceleration. So for similar triangles, base length to side length ratio will be same. So let us write that. So from similar triangles CPP prime and IGH, the ratio of base length to the side length will be equal. So I can write delta V by V is equals to delta R by R. So delta V by V is from the triangle IGH and delta R by R is from the triangle CPP prime. And if two triangles are similar, then base length to side length will be same. So from this equation we can write what is delta V. Delta V will be equals to delta R divided by R multiplied by V. So this is delta V. Delta V is what? Rate of change of velocity. So now in our last expression we wrote instantaneous acceleration as limit delta t tends to 0 delta V divided by delta t. So now you can substitute this delta V here and find the acceleration equation. So this can be written as limit delta t tends to 0. So now delta V is what? Delta R divided by R multiplied by V, and this is divided by delta t. So now let us write this equation in different format. So you can write V by R and delta R by delta t, or you can also write this equation as V by R limit delta t tends to 0 delta R divided by delta t. So we know what is delta R by delta t. So rate of change of displacement will give velocity. So that is delta R divided by delta t is approximately equals to V. So now you can substitute this whole term as V. So this can also be written as or. So limit delta t tends to 0 del R by del t can be written as V. So this equation then becomes what? V by R multiplied by V. So that is, so you can write this as V square by R. So this is the centripetal acceleration. So centripetal acceleration can be written as V square by R. So this equation is the centripetal acceleration equation, and this will be always directed towards the center of the circle. So this is what is the centripetal acceleration. So this we have derived by considering the instantaneous acceleration, then by substituting delta R by delta t as V, then you get centripetal acceleration. So this is what the equation for centripetal acceleration.